Andrew Plitt here with andrewplitt.com. In this video, we are continuing to look at exercises for developing silk reeling motion in your body as you're practicing Tai Chi. So again, this is going to be just a simple exercise that's building toward the more traditional, more commonly known silk reeling exercises, which tend to be a little bit more complex. And so these are the baby steps that get you to the point where you can practice those. And then of course, those produce the foundational silk reeling understanding that you need to practice Tai Chi correctly. In the last video, we worked on an exercise just for coiling or silk reeling through our arms, and today we're going to expand on that and continue to work on the arms and how they silk reel as you do Tai Chi motion. If any of you have questions about silk reeling or about what we talk about in this video, please put them in the comments below. Let's go ahead and get into our exercises for this video. In the last video, we focused just on spiraling out and spiraling in with the arm. In this video, we're going to add that spiral to a circular motion with the arm. Sometimes people say that the silk reeling in Tai Chi is these circular motions. It's these round motions of the arms. And I think it's really important to clarify that that is not silk reeling in and of itself. Silk reeling has to be present in those circular motions for them to be silk reeling motions and Tai Chi motions. So this kind of spiral has to exist in those circular motions. And if you look at just about any other Chinese martial art, you're going to find circular motions. And the reason that that's different from what we do in Tai Chi is not because there's circular motions in their movements and circular motions in our movements. It's that we have silk reeling in addition to those circular motions. So we'll start with the feet about shoulder width apart, just kind of a comfortable distance. Make sure you have good structure all through the body. And last time we focused on an inward spiral and an outward spiral. We're going to do the same thing in this video, only as we do this inward spiral, we're going to bring the arm down and across the body. And as we do the outward spiral, we're going to bring the arm up and back across to where it started. So inward spiral is going to come in, but instead of just coming in, it's going to come in and across the body. So we're going with my right hand, I'm going from the right side of the body down to the left side of the body. So it's going right to left, inward spiral. Now as we do the outward spiral, it's going to start to come up from there and it's going to go back to where it started on the right side of the body. So we have inward spiral, it drops down, comes up with the outward spiral and expands back to where it started. And it's important to recognize that spiral and spiral through this motion. So we have inward spiral, inward spiral. We have outward spiral, and we have outward spiral here. Okay, so inward spiral, outward spiral. Now with this, you can turn with the waist to get the spiral coming from the lower dantian up through the body, through the spine, through the arm, out to the hand as we do the outward spiral, and then draw back in through the body to the lower dantian as we do the inward spiral. We're not going to get the legs super involved yet because we don't want to make this super complicated, so you can keep your hips pretty stationary and focus more on twisting at the waist as we do this. So we're going to do a couple, starting with the right hand out, inward spiral, coming in, turning to the left, twisting through the waist. So we have that coiling through the body, coiling through the arm. Then from here, we're going to coil through the body, coil through the arm. We have the outward spiral with the arm coming up, and it's going to come across and finish back where it started. A couple more times. Inward spiral, turn to the left. Outward spiral, turn to the right. Inward spiral, turn to the left. Outward spiral, turn to the right. Okay, so essentially the same exercise, only instead of this and this, it's this and that. Now let's do that on the other side. So we're going to take the right hand, put it on the right hip. We're going to reach out with the left hand to this left corner. We're going to inward spiral, and as we inward spiral, we're going to turn to the left side. So from here, inward spiral. From here, we're going to outward spiral and turn back to the left side. So inward spiral is done. We're going to outward spiral and turn to the left, back to where we started. Inward spiral, outward spiral. Inward spiral, come across. Outward spiral, expand out. Again, inward spiral, come across. Outward spiral, back to where we started. Inward spiral, outward spiral. If we were to do this circle without the silk reeling, it would basically be this kind of a thing. We're just making a circle coming from this corner, dropping down, coming across, coming up, and going back out, almost like you're making an oval. You can think of it as a rectangle at first, starting here, dropping to this corner of the rectangle, coming across to this corner, coming up to this corner, and then back to the starting corner. When we add the spiral to it, it takes more of an oval type shape. So we come in, don't really have the corners, but you can think of the corners if you want. Drop down, spiral in. So we go to this first corner, second corner, third corner, starting corner. First corner, second corner, third corner, starting corner. Okay? And as we do that, we have the beginning of the internal spiral here, and it finishes here. So the first and second corner is inward spiral here. Outward spiral begins here, going to the third corner and back to the starting corner. So one turns into the other. As you start to get to the end of this motion and you get back to where you started, you're turning into an inward spiral, right? And as you get to the end of this inward spiral, you're turning into an outward spiral. So when you're first starting, think of here, inward, inward, outward, outward. But as you get used to that, then it's going to just flow. So you're starting to turn into the inward through here, and then starting to turn to the outward through here. And it just flows from one to the next without a definite, I've done the outward, now I'm doing the inward. It's outward to inward, inward to outward, as you go through that motion. If you're not really sure what I mean when I'm talking about the inward spiral and the outward spiral, go to earlier videos in the series where I discuss all of that in detail. I'm not going into as much detail here because that's why I made all of those previous videos, is so that groundwork is laid and that you understand the concept. Now we can work on applying the concept to our body. So now that you have an idea of how this motion is supposed to go, I'm going to turn around, face away from you, and we're going to do this as a follow-along exercise. So you'll have the same view as you would have if you were in a class with me, and we're going through this exercise together and you're following along. So we'll start by stepping about shoulder width apart, just somewhere that's comfortable. Make sure that your alignment is good, like we've talked about in previous videos. Make sure there's no excess tension in the body, relax, find your good alignment, find your center, find your good structure. Take your left hand, put it on your left hip. We're going to put the right hand out to the corner, so it's not directly in front, it's not the side, it's in between. We're going to spiral inward as we drop the hand down and bring it across to the left side. We're going to spiral outward as it comes up and then pushes across back to the right. That's one complete circuit. Inhale, inward spiral. Exhale, outward spiral. Inhale, spiral in. Exhale, spiral out. Inhale, spiral in. Exhale, spiral out. We're going to do a couple more. Bring it in. As you inhale, turning to the left, bring it up, outward spiral, and turn back to the right. And one more. Inward spiral, turning to the left. Outward spiral, turning to the right. We're going to switch sides. So the right hand goes on the right hip, the left hand's going to go out to the left corner. You're going to inward spiral and inhale, turning to the right. And exhale as you spiral outward, going back to the left. Inhale, drawing in. Exhale, spiraling out. Again, inhale, spiral in, spiral out, going back to the left. Turn to the right. Turn to the left. Couple more. Spiral in. Spiral out. And one more. Spiral in. Spiral out. And relax both arms down and bring the feet together. Same things with this exercise as the previous one. When you spiral in, you don't want to go so far that you build up tension and you hit end range. There should always be a little bit of play left where you could go further. So as you spiral in, you're going to drop this down and it can start that inward spiral, but you don't want to do too much too soon or else you're going to run out of spiral before you get across the body. So from here, drop it down, it starts the inward spiral and it finishes as it gets here. but I could turn it more if I needed to. But if I go further, I'm going to start to hit end range and build up tension, so I don't go that far. Then it's going to rotate the other way as it starts to come up, and as it comes across, again, I'm not going so far with this rotation that I'm hitting end range or building up tension. It just rotates and expands. As you do this exercise, as before, as with all silk reeling exercises, your outward spiral as you're coming here and out. What you're doing is expanding that spiral from the lower dantian up through the spine, through the arm to the hand. When you do your inward spiral, you're drawing from the lower dantian through the hand, through the arm, through the spine, down to the lower dantian. As you draw in, that's the inward intention. As you expand out, then you have that outward expansion from the lower dantian. In future videos, we're going to start to coordinate that type of motion of the upper body with the motion of the lower body that we've learned in previous videos. So I really encourage you to first work on the exercises that we did with the lower body, the exercises that we did with the upper body separately. Get those down really, really well so that as we go forward in these exercises, coordinating the two together is very easy to do. I hope you learned a lot from this video. I hope it's really helping you understand silk reeling, how it is expressed in your body, and then how it will eventually translate into your Tai Chi training. If you enjoyed this video or if you learned something from this video, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and also consider becoming a supporting member for this channel to help ensure that more videos like this will be made available in the future. A big thank you again to all of my supporting members out there. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your support. And I'm very glad to see that what I'm putting out in these videos, the amount of effort that I put into these videos and the content that I'm putting in them is something that's valuable to you and that you're willing to support this type of content. So thank you so much for what you do. I wish you all the very best in your training. Stay safe and healthy out there. And as always, thank you for watching.